These are the top 5 point guards of all time. Since we all know who number 1 is, let's start with him. Magic Johnson, widely regarded as the greatest point guard of all time, and this is why. Even with his career cut short, he's still number 1 for all-time assists in the playoffs. Not to mention, he won a ring and Finals MVP his rookie year, the only player in history to do that. He also holds the record for the most assists per game for his career, at 11.2. He's the greatest passer of all time, and that's what makes him the greatest point guard of all time. At number 2, we have Oscar Robertson, the greatest all-around point guard to ever play. He's the first player to average a triple-double for the season. He's tied with Magic for all-NBA first teams with 9 of them. Nobody else on this list has even half of that. His career averages are very similar to Magic's, except he's a better scorer. We don't know about his defense because they didn't record defensive stats back then, but he's definitely the best all-around point guard on this list. At number 3, we have Zeke, Isaiah Thomas, by far the toughest point guard on this list. He had to face the 80s Lakers and Celtics, some of the best teams of all time. He averages 19 points and 9.5 assists for his career. And last but not least, he's number 9 for all-time assists. That guarantees him a spot on this list. At number 4, we have my favorite point guard, Chris Paul. He's by far the best defensive point guard to ever play. The only reason he's not ranked higher is because he doesn't have a ring. As soon as he gets one, he goes ahead of Isaiah Thomas. When I say that he's the best point guard of all time, I'm not even exaggerating. Look how many all-defensive first teams and all-defensive teams he has. Only the glove can be considered a better defender than him. Chris Paul has the edge for steals, though. He also does more offensively, while being just as good a defender, so I have to give him the edge. He's number 3 for all-time steals, while also being number 3 for all-time assists. He's just the greatest pure point guard to ever play. At number 5, we have John Stockton, the all-time leader for assists and steals. I can't put him ahead of Chris Paul with only 2 All-NBA first teams. Not to mention, Chris Paul's a way better defender. CP3 is also better offensively. He's one of the best passers of all time with the second highest career assist average. Like Chris Paul, he's missing hardware. He could have been ranked so much higher, but being number 1 on assists and steals solidifies his place on the top 5. And if you're wondering where Steph Curry is, you're going to have to keep wondering because he's not in no top 5. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not a better player than them. He's just not a better point guard than them. He plays like a shooting guard, not a point guard. Do you see Curry's name anywhere? On the top 22, I see James Harden. Before I see Curry, Russell Westbrook's 10. Do you still see Curry? I don't see Curry. Top 43, I don't see Curry. I see Kobe. Still no Curry. He's not top 5 point guard. Don't ever say that in your life, please.